There you go. I can send it to you so you know what we said.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you have the audio recordings, I think. Eh?
Um, now I do. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you from the other
Yeah, like this one. So this one I don't have to record actually.
no, you I will send it to you.
Okay.
I will put it in a hidden link on YouTube or something, and then you can always watch it
Okay.
because this will be so good.
Okay.
That's actually my starting point in every conversation or in every session I do. I have manual conversations with people and I have verbal conversations, and they are actually the same.
Okay.
Let me tell you how my system feels you when you open the screen.
Okay.
You feel like there is some instability and that you did not rest that well, but something is changed. There is a kind of a quietness there. Let me rephrase that. It's not quietness. There is a kind of a knowing there that makes that it's not completely panic or chaos, let's say. So it is hard, you know, it feels hard, but there is also a knowing.
Hmm.
There is a part of you that does not go into that story anymore completely. Uh, that's what my nervous system says when I look into your eyes and when I see the way you pierce from the inside out to me.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Yeah, actually, I feel like that, like a little bit tired,
Mhm.
but also curious. Um, yeah, that's it actually, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the question not to get a direct answer to know what to say, but just to make sure. That's you. What are you curious about?
This session,
Okay.
because you already started with saying it's going to be a great session. Yeah. So I think that makes me curious
Good.
because it still will be unreasonable
Mhm.
good. So that makes me curious.
We had already some pretty unreasonable conversations.
Yeah, that's true.
What did you use that was unreasonable in the past week? How did you implement that? Because everything we suggested and talked about was pretty unreasonable for the mind you are carrying, because that mind works according to a reasonable status of proceedings.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What did I use? Well, what I try to do is to ask myself the question of how can I be in that situation with fun and like that I can get out of it more energized. But
Yes.
that already sounds reasonable because it has a goal. So I'm not sure if this is unreasonable.
Um, the fact that you take the position, that you take that position,
Mhm.
is a new position um, regarding the previous position where you went in there and you felt how you felt and you believed that that was the way you are and that was the
Yeah.
situation you had to deal with. So there is a big difference between almost ignoring the thought that this is reality I am going to search for how can I set this up so I can get increasingly more energy and leave this place more energized than I entered,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what I do here. It could be shouting out loud, it could be it's not so extreme
Mm-hmm.
because the joy and the energy is found in the joy and energy of other people or the things you are busy with. And so there is only to look for people who lift you up, make you alive,
Mm-hmm.
bring things that you are alive to. So you're not going to talk about how to rearrange a flower bouquet if you're not interested in flowers. Your
Yeah.
attention will go to the boy that's walking with his guitar past the window. And I would suggest the unreasonable thing of thanking the lady you are talking to about flowers and leave the store and go after the guy with the guitar and ask
Yeah.
where he is going.
Yeah. I still find it tricky to sometimes really know how to react in situations.
Yes.
I don't know if I can really describe it, but like last time we had this discussion about staying at home or going somewhere. What is better? And I still have the question in my head, like if I cannot even think about what would give me more fun and energy right now because I'm just really tired.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I'm sick, but I'm not.
Good.
Um, should I still go for the commitments and agreements or
I don't know what the commitments are. Let's make it very practical because life is just that. It's
yeah,
very practical.
yeah,
And it turns around having shelter, having food, and being in a warm, safe place somewhere.
yeah,
It has not so much to do with emotions and gathering people around you and having the right people by your side and all that blah blah blah. The
mhm,
first things are, is your head covered? Do you have food? Is it warm? And can you have a place to rest without having fear of getting stolen or
yeah.
assaulted? It's that simple.
That I have. So
Are you sure?
yeah.
Good. Then you can start looking for the things that make you feel alive.
Mhm.
And if that is taking care of yourself because you have a fever that is so high that you need to rest, then you don't go out
Yeah,
because that's a matter of taking care of your body and your illnesses.
yeah,
And we come into a gray zone here because your
yeah.
brain
Like the
uses that part.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't know. Well, I know it's first thought created,
Hmm.
my tiredness, because my thoughts just make me tired.
Hmm.
And the overwhelm or thinking how
Hmm.
overwhelming everything is. And I have so many things to do, and
Hmm.
I would like to do them all very well. And
Hmm.
um,
You
I
could
think,
ask yourself, is it a matter of life and death, or is there blood coming out of my body? Usually, if there is blood coming out of your body, it's time to take care of yourself.
yeah,
And that is also true regarding menstruation.
mm-hmm.
You heighten the attention for yourself, but you still do the things you are planned to do because you're not disabled or something. You just
Yeah,
watch out for yourself and take a bit more space and respect what your body is doing.
mm-hmm.
So, what were the commitments? Like,
Um,
let's take yesterday.
well, yesterday I was visiting my brother, so
You were out.
was out. Yeah, I
Okay,
was the whole weekend there, so I didn't
let's
have commitments.
good. Let's pick a date where you didn't, where you really were in doubt what to do, go out or stay or what.
Yeah,
Let's pick a date like that.
yeah. Well, teaching in school with the primary school kids. in the evening teaching dance classes with adults
Hmm.
classes and giving a workshop,
Hmm.
making a substitution in
Hmm.
dance class. Um,
Was that asked the substitution?
yeah,
Was
like
that a
someone asked
question?
me if I can substitute a lesson
Why did you say yes?
because I thought it's cool. And that was
I'm
the only
awake, you
thing
know.
I did in that
You
week.
will. Yeah.
I canceled
That,
everything, but I did just that substitution lesson. That was fun.
what did the owner of the dance school say? So she has a teacher that does not come teach her own classes, but then does substitutes for other dance teachers'
That was
classes.
2 days later. So
Hmm. Okay.
yeah. And I think just thinking about all of these things that I have to still prepare, and also the thoughts of my ideas are not good enough anyway. So I need to rethink it and replan it and check more things out and make something better out of it. I think that completely, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Fills up the
that
whole day.
drained my whole being. So
Yeah.
I wasn't able to really see anything good about it. That's why
Mhm.
I canceled to go anywhere. I just
Good.
couldn't get out of it.
Can you again say what you just said? So, what made it busy in your head was the thinking that your creativity
Yeah,
was not good enough. You had to
yeah,
replan and redo everything. Yeah.
yeah. It's the
Well,
fear of not being good enough, I think,
yeah.
and not fulfilling expectations of the participants.
Mhm.
As I get paid, so I have to deliver something really good.
Yeah.
Um,
How do you know that you're good enough?
yeah. Well, I know it when I am there and I see that people are having fun or they enjoy
Mm.
the teachings. And this has nothing to do with my preparation in the end, actually. Maybe a little bit, yes, I need to prepare a little bit, but it's not, it's maybe 10% of the whole
Do
thing.
you think that people would be happy when you have no energy but the perfect dance schedule of the perfect dance preparation?
No.
So it has to do with the enthusiasm and the pleasure that you bring it with.
Yeah.
Hmm. So that you do know also with the same brain.
Yeah, especially after the session we had. I think it wasn't that week.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I started to realize that a bit more with a
Hmm.
bit more awareness.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is actually very, very easy. You can do anything and start up everything and anything. It's only after you do it one time or two times that you feel that the energy is there or not, or that it makes you really alive or not.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you an example. I'm very good in thinking out structures for classes and for academies and for education
Mm-hmm.
because of facilitating everybody's questions. So everybody's needs. Some people come from further, some people don't like to be in class all week. So I construct these very difficult structures of plannings and
Mm-hmm.
compositions of educations and courses just to serve everybody and to have as broad as possible collection of people in my classes because I think my fear brain thinks that I need a lot of people to be able to pay my bills.
Mm-hmm.
There is a there is always a fear of not having enough to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me think all of these creative constructs of educational programs just to soothe that thought.
Mm-hmm.
And then when one of these programs does not work, I'm completely in panic.
Hmm.
Because then I did everything and it does not working, and am I worth it? And
Yeah.
I need to revisit myself because it's not, I'm not worth it, I'm not creative enough. And then I go ask Esther about her opinion about it, and then she says something that I didn't think of, and then I feel even shittier because I I did not think of this. Come on. And in the end, it's a big a drain hole. And the only realization at the bottom of the pit that I can do is, what did you actually have fun on of
Mhm.
all creating all this?
Yeah.
And the less money you have on the bank account, the harder it is to realize that.
Yeah. Because the fear is bigger or
The
not.
fear is bigger and the convincing of your brain is bigger.
Yeah.
So I still have to grab myself together and ask myself this question. And I have a very important argument, and getting older helps. The argument is, this is something you have to do for the rest of your life. What would that need to be able to jump out of bed for that and be such an energy source that I want to be busy with that all day long? And then the form organizes itself. So what I like to do with people is put them in a room with me or put them on Zoom with me and just have a chat with them. And then the transmission of information goes on. And then, yeah, you feel in your system how it works. You're connected with people. And I like to give gentle feedback. And
Thank you.
and sometimes I do that with words, sometimes I do that with manual techniques, and that's the prehistoric version. It does not go any further than that.
Hmm.
Um, it only needs a plastic bag to hold that concept. It does
Hmm.
not need the jewel box out of precious
Hmm.
stone or something. It could become that, but just a plastic sack is enough, or a paper bag is enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to learn to strip everything to the bare enjoyment of what I would love to do and just put a paper bag around it. And the paper bag is as big as my financial needs are.
Yeah.
That's reality.
Yeah.
So I had to apologize myself to a lot of people this week because I set up this amazing big program where people signed up to.
Hmm.
And then second thought, I broke everything down to the bare enjoyment of things, and I had to pull everything out of each other so people could enroll for all these things separately. But there were already people that paid for everything. So now they were like annoyed because they paid for everything, but they would love to have the chance to pay for one thing.
Hmm.
And to make that up or to apologize yourself or speak to people, that creates a kind of learning system for myself not to do that again in the future or to do that in a different way in the future.
Yeah.
So I would do the same thing. You organize some structures, things you love to do, and I would strip them down to the finest point of enjoyment you have around that. Can you tell me what that is about dancing? Because that's what
I
you
was
do a lot.
constantly trying to get there, and I realized sometimes I try to find my like why I do things,
Mhm.
but my head is so foggy with all these thoughts, and I cannot even get to that simple point.
That is a feeling that is not, it's not to be found in thinking. That is really,
Ah,
it's
yeah.
like neurotransmission. You place yourself in this situation, you picture yourself dancing, and then you go noticing your nervous system. What does it do? What does it do? And that's the only measurement you have. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is it about dancing? It's the movement itself and to learn something new.
yeah,
I think that's what I really like to grow there.
yeah.
um,
To express, that's what I clearly felt
yes,
in all our sessions.
yeah.
The urge to express.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it gives me the feeling of freedom.
yeah.
Yeah. And also to connect with others through dancing. I think
Mhm.
that's, and also music is the same, actually.
Can we say by expressing yourself, connecting to other people? And this sounds not so special when
Mm-hmm.
I say this, or you read this in a book, it's like, yeah, that's for everybody. But
Yeah.
if we put that in your light, in your flavor, it becomes something special.
Mm-hmm.
So expressing yourself, knowing what we know about you, that you express yourself in really, uh, um, really quite sharp forms that you really well thought about
Mm-hmm.
in the past.
Yeah. Now just the thought pops up, what is
Yeah.
this enough? That's not enough for having a purpose. There has to be more.
You mean the sharp form of expression
Yeah, like expressing myself. That's,
to connect?
yeah, is that really enough?
What do you think I do for a living? I
Uh,
do nothing more than express myself in the way that feels
yeah,
most enjoyable for me. And
yeah.
out of that, a form appears. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that I studied the form. It looks like that, but actually it isn't because I had enough chances to step out of it. I had
Mm-hmm.
enough chances to go and work in a garage and fix cars.
Yeah.
My father was a mechanic, so was not so
Okay.
difficult.
Yeah.
Not on cars, but on heating systems.
Okay.
I hate heating systems and fixed them.
Oh,
His expression form was helping others in a way that he could connect to other people.
yeah.
So it is not, is it enough, you ask? It's actually, there is only one thing I can say about that, and you will agree immediately. There's nothing else.
Mm.
So what you are looking for all day long or during these weeks is a tiring search because you will not find it. You will not find a higher purpose than expressing yourself to connecting yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I
try
had a
me.
conversation lately with a friend, and he also said it's so important to find your purpose or your why.
Mhm.
And then, and also maybe to find, because I told him that I have so many like ideas what I love to do, and I like to express myself in all of them. So it doesn't matter if it's dancing or singing, or sometimes even teaching can feel like that, or art, or is it having a talk with someone, or is it, I don't know,
Or annoying your
sculpting or painting?
boyfriend.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things, and I don't even want to decide for one and really commit to that. But his opinion is that you don't have to only look for what makes most fun for you, but also with which of these things you can also serve the most to your society, your community. So
That is a God perspective. You can say that's a quite an arrogant person.
yeah. Yeah.
And secondly, he will have a lot of migraines and headaches if he goes on that path because
Mm.
he thinks he can outthink nature or outthink God. The same thing that created stars that are so far away that we can't even calculate how far away they are. And he thinks he can think for that system.
I will tell
That's
him.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Uh,
He thinks that we need to help nature. It's ridiculous.
well, help the people around you. That's the idea. So
The
don't
only
pick
way,
something you only want to do because you have fun with it, but pick something of these things that you can give the most.
yeah. If you understand the word fun the way we talk about it here, like aliveness in your deep system, so you get more energy and food out of the situation.
Mm.
If that's how fun is understood, then that's the only meaning of life. That's the reason why we are around here. Because we are created to produce more for nature or to produce more for the universe. And yeah, to make it expand and to make it experience itself. That's why we're here. We are here for the same reason as the mushrooms and the ants and the trees are here. I don't hear them complaining that they don't have a purpose. Yes, but they're stupid and now we are disevolved. And don't you think it's strange that only in the last 100,000 years people start appearing? And what happened all these billion years before that?
Mhm.
That would mean that the world stops with us. No, it does not stop with us. After we are gone in 2 billion years, it still turns around here. Maybe it's just a rock of dirt, but it still turns around.
Yeah.
There's still chemical reactions in the sun by then.
Mhm.
So that the fun thing is you don't have to think about these things anymore. This is you could easily answer that with blah 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 blah. Let's eat. Or let's play music or kiss me. What is it gonna be of the three? Come on. You're selfish. Blah, blah. No, I'm taking care of myself and of you. That's my purpose. The
Yeah.
fact that you love to teach or love to laugh, that makes you a wonderful teacher. But you're not standing there to teach. You're standing there because you are completely alive to have a connection with these kids and have energy and have
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
your creativity to enliven yourself in that classroom, and that creates a class that's maybe annoying for the kids, but who cares? You give them an education that they will never get anywhere else. You will
Yeah.
create art and songs and dance that were never created before. That's the purpose.
Yeah. But I lately think a lot. I'm not sure if that setting that I am in now, teaching, is giving me space for that.
I understand. Create within that setting
Yeah.
the sole thought of what can I do here in this paper bag that makes me alive? And if it's and do that also in the teacher chamber. Do that also when you are in a conversation with the head of the pedagogic
Yeah.
institute. Do that also when you have to make up the year planning. And that's integrity from beginning until end. If you're only in integrity in your classroom and in your own bedroom, you will create a conflicts. It needs to be over everywhere so it can change. Otherwise, it changes with cracks and with collateral damage. It goes in phases. Like if you don't inform your director, uh, you will eventually leave school because the constipation will become too big. So
Mhm.
it's healthy to do it everywhere and to say no to the Weihnachtsschauspiele.
Yeah. Perfect.
Danke.
Yeah.
Horrible. I couldn't use that word. Sorry. It can be lovely,
Yeah.
especially if there is a boy or a girl you really like. That could be the best Weihnachtsschauspieler ever. And you are sad that the repetitions are stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I try to be in that classroom
Yeah.
and really think of, okay, what would I need now to feel energized or to make it fun for me?
To
And
step out of the class alive and yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
For the whole group, not only for yourself, for the
yeah,
whole group.
also,
Yeah.
but somehow it just doesn't work. So it's
Is the material boring? What do you
it's so
find?
boring. Yeah, I really, it's
Yes,
boring.
it's boring.
But I have to teach it. It's my job to teach that.
Mhm.
And even
What?
when I'm working with clay, like that's my favorite subject that I'm teaching right now.
Mhm.
Um, and we also talked about it already that
Mhm.
it's kind of the kids react to how I am.
Mhm.
And I realized that also makes me very angry because everything is to blame on me now. And
All
I
right.
don't like it. I'm not
Yeah.
always sure if that's really true.
Yeah.
Because they bring so many things from home, like they live out their things with their parents or their
Of course, you're not responsible for the living situation of these kids and the fact that they throw around everything in the classroom because they get hit by their parents. That's not your fault. Or
yeah.
what, the only part that is your part is what you make of it. You're not responsible for
Yeah,
their
yeah, but
behavior.
it's just so much. It's if I would have 5 kids, we could
Mm.
play with that. But with 20 kids, 20 stories and 20 little beings that need my attention, it's really, I don't know how to create
Yeah,
that fun space for all of us.
use your creativity. And I really urge you this week to go out of the box with your creativity. Like if they all want your attention, that is not possible.
Mm,
If they all want your attention, the only way that is possible if is they shut up and you do something that they can listen to.
yeah.
So I would bring my guitar to the class and I would make like a hard rock song. If you all want my attention, you need to listen or something. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know how
I'm also
much.
teaching music actually. I and I have the guitar and the piano, and I let the kids play the drums. And there are maybe 3 or 4 kids that really enjoy that and they want to participate.
Hmm.
And there are like 5, 6, 7 kids, they just don't participate. They're like, no, I hate music. I'm not gonna.
Then you go do math
Yeah,
with
but
my
it's
colleague.
really like they are so rude. I like a few years ago when I was teaching that I didn't even think about kids being like that with teachers. It's
Yeah,
really there's no respect or no like same level of communicating. They're
I
yeah.
understand.
So it really takes all of my energy because I'm trying,
Why are you trying?
because I
You
want to have fun and get energized out of
No, 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 no. Now you're using it against me. No, 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 no,
not on
no.
purpose. I'm sorry.
If you ask a few times or it's not fun or people can't handle you, then you can do two things. Or you leave or they leave.
Yeah.
If they want to be adults, that's the fair thing to do. Then
Yeah.
do something else. Or you can make an agreement with them. You don't have to do the stupid music. You don't have to like me.
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
Yeah.
Let's talk as adults. What do you suggest? If you can guarantee me that you can do other things that are useful, uh, you
Mm.
can do that in the corner of the class. But if you're sitting here to disrupt the class, then we have to make other agreements.
Yeah.
And I would not use any gram of energy on that.
Mm.
If it's not able to have an agreement, then you set them with the director, or you say, yeah, here are three examples of nice kids. They don't want to do music. Give them another program.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only point is the movement, the moving in that. Like, am I
Mhm.
gonna stay in that job or not? Is this a good school for me? The moving in that lies in your actions in the little moments,
Mhm.
the power you take in that, the integrity you hold in that. And the more you do that, the quicker the situation changes. Because if you step at this moment into another school, you have other teachers and other children, and they will be as annoying as the previous ones.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And then you stop teaching and you teach adults, and then you think, finally I'm released of these stupid kids. And then they start falling in love with you and make stories and send you and stalk you, and it's even more misery then.
Yeah.
And then you said, okay, I'm gonna do this anymore. We're gonna do online courses, so they cannot, I don't know, touch me, or they cannot. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it goes on and on and on.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
think
our
right now I was really in this constantly trying to figure out what I need to
Mhm,
feel well and energized, and this will affect the kids as well.
mhm.
And then I was also trying to think what would they like, but that's also not the right attempt.
Very tiring.
So tiring.
Yeah, don't start to think what they like.
Yeah. But also it didn't work the other way around. If I
No.
just once I said, okay, now you just write a journal, and I could also write my own journal. And that
Yeah,
was actually a very quiet and peaceful lesson.
yeah.
And because I was so tired and I didn't want to interact, I didn't want to give anything right now. So that worked.
Mm.
There I had a moment where I thought, okay, it works to really think of what do I need right now.
Yeah. There it starts eventually.
Yeah, yeah,
But what you need is not the fleeing away. What you need is creative solutions that make you feel alive. And it's really that. It's not taking care of yourself. It's it's really looking, sitting and seeing what would what could get you in this alive state. And that could be a piece of music on the guitar. That could be a way you enter the material you need to teach. That
yeah.
could be a fresh breath of air, a
Hmm.
change of plans, a complete change of plans.
Yeah.
Uh, that could even be just crying.
Hmm.
And I understand that you don't want to break down in front of the kids, and that's not necessary. But you
Yeah.
could draw on the board, just to redraw for a moment out of your own thinking or out of the classroom, instead of being there and trying to solve it. That's terrible. It's not to be solved.
Yeah, but they approach me. They're like, "Oh, you have to help us. We have a fight," and it's like, it's
Why are there fights in your class?
I don't know. They
You say
even
to them, listen.
last week, the main teacher got, I think, 5 or 6 emails from mothers because the kids came home all blue and purple. Because after the sport lesson, they had this great idea to put soap on the floor, and they started to fight on it. And one kid fell on his head, and it was the day I was teaching, but it was in the end, so I didn't see that anymore.
Mhm.
That's how these kids behave. So I really, it's
They're just kids. They're just
they're
kids.
just kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's really it makes me laugh, but I'm also like, okay, what should I do next?
Yeah. The enormous responsibilities you feel. You
Totally,
you
yeah.
you can't carry them with your thinking. There
Yeah.
needs to be a relaxedness around the responsibility. And the friend who says that you need to be responsible for the purpose in your life,
Mhm.
that is a, I mean, that creates burnout.
Yeah.
Of course, you're responsible for the purposes you have in your life and the things you do, but not with your mind. That's
Mhm.
not something your mind needs to take care of. That's something your body takes care of, because that's the connection to the to the wall socket where the energy comes from.
Yeah.
And our mind is just a part of that body. Um, so if they do that, if they fight, you could go to them and you could say, if you want to fight, please do that outside of the school or in the schoolyard when I'm not watching you. I don't care if you kill yourself or each other, it doesn't matter, but not in my classroom.
Yeah, but then they would say, yeah, but it's right now, and then you already will slap another kid.
Then he goes outside because not in your classroom.
Yeah.
You will have a hallway full of people sitting there and 10
Yeah, I
people in
just thought the
class.
same.
Nice. Finally, only the people that want to listen.
Yeah.
This system is like this because they get the opportunity to be like that. They're only pointing out the flaws in the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all they do. If you gave them the freedom, they grab it because they don't know yet themselves how to
Mm.
regulate themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's by default something they didn't learn at home. So that's an extra task you get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I suggest you learn them that, not for their sake, but for your own energies
Yeah.
to feel alive. And yeah. And after class, you can still talk to the aggressors, or you can still have a nice relationship with the people that you put in the hallway. You don't have to hit them or
Yeah.
punish them, or I don't know what. That's
Yeah.
not this. If they're just out of the in the timeout, it's okay
Mhm.
that they can deal with their own responsibility. Actually, what they are asking from you is to learn a responsibility to a group.
Yeah.
And what they teach you is how to be responsible for yourself.
Mhm.
And that's something you have in common with these kids.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it that way yet. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So if you pick up integrity and responsibility towards your own aliveness and integrity around that,
Mhm.
so things start to work in your life, then you will have a lesser problem with these kids because they feel the difference.
Mhm.
And if they don't feel it, they find themselves sitting in the hall doing nothing
Yeah.
or cleaning with the janitor.
Yeah.
I think that would be a nice thing to do. I don't know why schools don't do that, because if I have annoying kids in my class, they can go and help the guy in the garden clean the garden or something like that. Not to punish them, but just, yeah, that's the other option.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you can speak to me what's the matter and why you're restless, and we can have a lesson around that so the other has some information too.
Mhm.
Uh, so to teach them how to be vulnerable, how to communicate, how to be responsible, not only to sit in class, but also bring, like, in the beginning of class, I'm not feeling so well. I have
Mhm.
a disturbance with this guy and I want to hit him in the face. Okay, let's make it a lesson about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they will feel safe with you. There is an opportunity.
Yeah.
And the school will kick you out if it's not following the learning plan. But who cares?
Mhm.
There is enough work in Switzerland.
That's true. Yeah, I just got a new job offer actually, and
Let's
I
go there. Then we're gone.
yeah, no, but this would be with a bit older kids, and it would be only drawing. So I could take over like a
Oh,
talent school.
now you found a solution.
I'm not sure. I'm not that fiery about it yet because I also realized I don't want to put the kids in boxes with making tests and giving them notes, you know what I mean? Beurteilung, how do you say that in
Ja,
English?
ja, Beurteilung, ich verstehe es.
Yeah. So I don't want to do that. And the older the kids are, the more people look at this,
Mhm.
and that's like a restriction for me to really be free in art and expressing. I also want the kids to express themselves.
What could be a creative way to it's like kind of judgment of their art. That's
Yeah,
what you're talking to. Yeah.
that's has nothing to do with the art they do. So why should I
That's
judge over
true. That's no problem. If you can explain to them why you have to judge their paintings and that it's not about the quality of their artwork, but that it's just a system to be able to fill out a form so they can get a degree,
it? Yeah.
then they won't take an offense about the fact that you just put a two on that because he just shit on his paper instead of being bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know how to rate people's art. And you could also rate them with the feeling you have. Like this kid only draw 4 squares on a paper, but he put his whole heart in. You will give him an 8. And the
Yeah.
next one draws a perfect Rubens, and you will give him a 5 because he always draws a perfect Rubens, and there's nothing alive about it. So there's nothing wrong with rating that if you rate it from the point of aliveness.
Mm-hmm.
And if they ask you, you say, I want to see aliveness. I want
Yeah.
to see process. Process. This little millimeter process. He'll step her tires.
Yeah, like as a teacher, you're always in that system. Um,
What I just told you was perfectly within the system.
yeah, yeah. But
And the
I can imagine
previous,
there are a lot of people like observing you, and if you teach a bit differently, it's already you're too much like that, you know?
and then what?
I don't know.
What would happen?
Yeah, then I
Then
get that.
we're back to the family trauma here. Then you get kicked out. You don't have a good job. And you don't have the money to survive. You will be poor forever and ever and ever. And is that true?
No.
Let's stop that trauma then.
Yeah. Yeah.
What could happen? The only thing could happen is that you have to do this talk that we are doing in the office of the director. And the only thing he can say is, I really feel what you are saying, but this is a system I cannot do else. I cannot do it anywhere else than like this. So
Mhm.
you are not fitting the system.
Yeah.
And then you can conclude that it's not a system for you, and you will look for another system where you fit in better.
Mhm.
Or you say, I will take over the system and I will make it better so you can fit in my
Yeah.
system. You could do that. If you feel aliveness in that moment, if you're really in integrity, you will have the guts to do such things. And then he still throws you out, but it doesn't matter. Then you were in integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you meet these inspired people that say, finally, I meet somebody who has the same feeling as me, but I didn't have the force to put it through myself. If we collaborate and I could have your good ideas, we could get somewhere. And you think, oh, this could, this makes me alive. And
Mhm.
then you could give it a shot.
Yeah.
So my job is to make it look as simple as possible so you can crash as hard as possible.
Right.
It's not that simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the idea and it really sounds simple.
Mhm.
But then I step out of this session and I start my day and it seems to be so difficult again.
What's the first thing that goes wrong? What's the first thought that comes up? Like, have you an example? Like,
Uh,
imagine we put down the call and the day begins. I don't know what you have to do today.
Well, I'm not teaching today, but I
Uh,
just thought about teaching. I mean,
yeah,
there I have a very direct connection with a lot of
yeah.
people. So,
Okay. So you
um,
come in classroom then like the next morning after our call, and then you think, okay, aliveness, 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 aliveness.
yeah,
Let's go for the alive. Yeah.
exactly.
Let's make this life work.
Yeah, that's how I approach my
And
days.
then they throw like a board wiper against your head, and
Yeah,
no
they were
one is
throwing
listening.
clay actually, not against me, but against each other.
Oh, they're throwing clay. Yeah.
Made a game out of it, yeah.
And then you have to clean the classroom too.
No, of course not. They will do that.
Okay, nice. So let them throw clay.
Yeah.
So you put them in two halves. You said the clay throwers over here, they are the prehistorical people. They don't know what to do with clay. And the more advanced people are on this side. So who wants to be with the Neanderthal?
They will all go there.
All right, then we do a basic prehistoric lesson.
Yeah. No, but I just try to figure out what thoughts I have. Um, it's hard to think about it now, actually.
That's because it's fun looking it that way because you have as much play as they have. The only stuckness you have is that you think you have to act in a system, and they are free to play and roam and pluck you bold the way they want to do that. But
Mm.
actually, you have as much liberty as they have.
Yeah.
You only cannot shout to them. You cannot hit them right in the face. You can only, if somebody falls off a chair because he's doing stupid tricks on the chair, you can only go a bit slower towards him so he can feel his repercussions of the actions he did a bit longer instead
Mhm.
of rushing there and are you okay? No, just all right.
Yeah.
How does it feel now? She was not helping. Yes, but
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, maybe the slowing down is a good tip.
Yeah.
Listen to the noise. They don't know what class it is.
Yeah.
You could change subject if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. And tonight I have a improvisation workshop, the second
Uh,
one. So I already feel a bit nervous, stressed about it.
that's good. Nervous is good. That's the beginning of aliveness.
Yeah. But
And
I'm also
you
looking forward. It's like both, but I also
good,
know I'm gonna be triggered.
probably.
Yeah. Or
Nervousness is good. Any nervousness, even if it makes you sick, even if you're scared, it's the ridge of aliveness.
okay.
When the hairs on your neck and your back stand up, there is aliveness there.
Yeah.
We're looking for that quality, but because that's the same quality that happens when you see a painting and it really hits you,
Yeah.
every hair goes up.
Yeah.
So that's the quality. And it's super fast. It's much faster than trauma thinking or subconscious thinking. It's so fast. It's really instinctive,
Hmm.
basic behavior. Uh, and if you're looking for joy or pleasure or fun, that's the excitement you're looking for. That's the yeah the bodily expression of that.
Yeah. But are you always able to look for that? I mean, when
You
you
can
are
find a direction. You cannot be all you are not always able to let's say feel like the hairs come up. It's a process.
yeah.
But if you practice it a lot, you can really hit those spots each time. But then you are really painting gold everywhere
Mhm.
if you can find that.
Yeah.
That's true purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking about bringing a gold spray can with this friend,
Yeah.
putting it in his face. You got your true purpose. You were my canvas.
That
And
was the most fun I could do now.
yeah, sorry.
I feel alive now. I
Yeah.
don't know about
Let,
you, but me.
let's grab a pizza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. This is going to be a challenge, this school and these kids.
Yeah, it is. It
And the
is.
same with your dancing.
Yeah.
That you could sell to yourself as, yeah, that's a hobby. I like to do that. So dance that, but that's a sell. It's actually as hard as your school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the first thing you do when you enter class is make a little home for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you grab your coffee, you set yourself up in a nice corner where the kids don't come.
Mm-hmm.
You breathe in the environment, you make the air fresh, you clean actually yourself for
Mm-hmm.
that moment that they enter. Or
Yeah.
maybe you're together in the class, I don't know. You go and pick them up, or how is it?
I am already there
Mhm.
usually. They enter the classroom. So I
Mm.
say hi to every kid. I greet them.
Yeah. And you leave, when you say hi to every kid, you leave every story about them in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You don't bring that with you. They're just new kids every day again
Yeah.
coming from your house. And that's a hard one, especially if you know that there is an annoying kid there. But then maybe you could look at it as the only way he can express or she can express her pain is through that.
Yeah.
And you have compassion for them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that creates a completely new start. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, in 5 minutes, there is a fight or there's somebody shouting.
I just wanted to say it sounds very romantic, everything, but
Yes, yes, yeah. It's from the textbooks, and
yeah.
it's every time it's a new world. It's a completely new world. Every day is a new world, and it's practice. It's yoga what you're doing there. It's
Yeah.
really hard yoga,
Mhm. Yeah.
but you have tools. You have your creativity. You have the fact that you can sit back and be quiet until a good idea arises from your brain. You can go outside with them. You could divide them.
Mhm.
You could ask if they could solve it themselves and how they would do that and make a mathematic class out of that. Like if they want to deal wheat, let them calculate how many wheat they need for a whole class and things like that. Uh,
Yeah.
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 Um, you could discuss subjects with them.
Mhm.
You could go really socially deep with these kids if somebody takes something from somebody else.
Yeah.
You could really ask them. So there are so many different things, and that's all part of your teaching material.
Mhm.
We are not even started with the math at that moment. So, uh, but if you have a listening, or if there is aliveness in the classroom, or if there is a kind of a peace in the classroom, your material will go in much easier than
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and you only need 5 minutes to do these calculations. You could also say that to them. Listen, you guys, we are here 90 minutes. But if we have a good agreement, in 15 minutes everything is taught.
Mhm.
So if you want 45 minutes of leisure time and dividing ourselves and you guys do whatever you want, play with your phone or have a song with me or do something else, then let's go and make this work.
Mhm.
You could be in a collaboration with them against the system
Yeah.
because it's already a collaboration against the system.
Mhm.
I mean, they find everything on ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe these kids are still a bit young. I think
I
they
don't
don't
know.
know it yet.
How old are they?
In 10 years old, around 9 or 10.
9 or 10. Yeah, that's a
11.
difficult age because they're already adults.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they still don't know anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you could be a very interesting person for them if you bring them information that lies 2 years ahead of them
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
instead of bringing the information for their age category. They are already in their thinking, they're already 12, 13, 14, 16 years old,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
especially the ones with the big mouths.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's why they have the big mouths, because they know they're a bit ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good experiment. Curious how you go about that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
We discussed the purpose of life here.
Yeah. It almost it sounds way too simple.
Yeah, sorry. I need to write down simply good instead of unreasonably good.
Simply good.
Or
Yeah.
unreasonable simply good.
Yeah.
Unreasonable simple.
Unreasonably simple.
Unreasonably simple.
Yeah.
Not so hard.
Mm. Yeah.
So when to go out or when not to go out?
Well, you told me last time if I can get up and brush my teeth, then I can also do anything else.
Nice. You still remember.
Yeah.
So you
Um,
lie there in bed smelling, not being able to brush
yeah,
your teeth. Yeah.
exactly. Um,
Imagine your boyfriend is on the door from Holland. At that same moment, what would happen then?
yeah, I could also get out, so
Mm.
yeah.
And there are some agreements you made with other people, and you always can have other agreements, but just make them. And if they are too hard for you or too much, then you don't make them anymore in the future.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Um, it will be easier for you to make choices if you are more in integrity with your aliveness and if you put through on that.
Yeah. I think I have to practice it more, like, or have more of these situations where I can also observe myself in it.
Yeah.
Mm,
And what you do is you make a voice note or a video of it and send it to me if you're in such a situation and you don't really know how to get on this aliveness. So we can
yeah.
do some alive practice role play in that moment. So
Okay.
you recognize your own creativity in that.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I realized the last days or weeks is also my really how strong my thoughts still are about um not being good enough. That's really, I mean,
Mhm.
I always knew that I have that.
Mhm.
Many people have that. And when you read it, it's like, yeah, okay, that's nothing new.
Mhm.
But I think I now really realize, so that's, I give so much importance to that still.
Mhm.
And I think if I can be aware of that and to let that go, it will make things a lot easier. So I will not be overwhelmed because I can just go and teach in the moment. I don't have to worry 3 days ahead already.
No,
I
you
can
can
just
slow
be
down and
myself.
wait until it comes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I still need to. build the trust in myself that I can do
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, but something changed already. You at least you understand that these insecurities are only a part of your brain working, and
Yeah,
you understand that that's not the way to live your purpose or live your life.
yeah,
The idea is to find the aliveness in things in the moment, no
yeah.
matter where you are or with whom you are.
Hmm.
Yesterday, I saw a Netflix documentary on Martha Stewart, who was in prison,
Hmm.
and you could say that that was terrible for her company, but actually, she came out of that with a new image.
Hmm.
And that was not her thinking, that was just her feeling or her inside state like, okay, let's do this, let's do that. No, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to do that. And she just decides in a moment on where her aliveness is. She's not calculating in the future, like, oh, but I made a commitment to that and my path was to be this, or no, she just decides in the moment. And I would do that also with your preparation. You have enough material to teach and to dance and to move and to you have an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yesterday I had such a moment where I put on some music and I thought, oh, that's a nice song. I want to do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
I really felt alive just trying out things. And I made a choreo in 5 minutes. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, it usually
Great.
takes me 2 or 3 hours and I'm Googling things and I'm
Yeah.
looking videos and
Yeah.
trying to learn myself. And it's tiring and exhausting and complicated.
Trying to learning yourself, is that tiring and complicating?
No, maybe because I have the feeling what I already am able to do is not
Mm-hmm.
enough anyway. First, I
Mm-hmm.
need to learn myself,
Mm-hmm.
then I can teach more. And then
Mm-hmm.
I stress myself out because I'm not good enough. Yeah.
Yes. You can be good enough so you can enjoy yourself.
Hmm.
You are already that good, I think.
Hmm.
That's enough.
Yeah.
And out of that, other things come. Other people push you forward or make a video of you, or I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe you're not meant to be a dancer, but that's not us to think about. That will come or will not come.
Yeah.
Maybe you're meant to be a clay master. I don't know. That's not us to think about. But you're claying.
Hmm.
Like 50,000 years from now, somebody finds something you clayed. And it's the only thing that survives in your town because you wrapped it up really good. What do you think the archaeologists will say at that moment?
I don't know.
Wow, this is very advanced pottery for that thing. And that was
Yeah.
probably an art student and is famous and it will be in display in the museums and they will have photographs of it. And the only reason is because it's the only ash tree that's left.
Exactly.
So it's so not worth to use brain power on.
Yeah. It's not worth it.
No.
Yeah. But that's also a bit scary sometimes when I think about how how do you say how ending everything is. Everything comes to an end.
Mhm.
That's also I cannot take that with ease.
Maybe it is so, but ending is something our fear brain thinks. Ending the form you're in, you mean, that's ending. But nothing is actually ending. It's all eating each other and growing and producing new. So the energy stays the same and only expands and expands.
Mm.
But the ending of people and stories and the way they think things are, that's indeed ending.
Yeah.
So that there lies no aliveness in that.
Hmm.
only sadness and loss and fear and holding and grabbing and
Yeah.
all the things of the brain. But if you go and look at the circularity of things and the amazing things that you could make appear even 200 years after you are dead because you inspired somebody to do one dance move and he changed the world,
Hmm.
that's a richness where you can tap energy out of.
But you will never know that. That's sad.
My brain is too busy with looking for the aliveness now because I'm getting old and you are too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's only 90 years or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's burn this really good, you know,
Hmm.
and all the rest is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I would save Palestine. I would love to save Palestine.
Hmm.
If there is a connection where the aliveness flows, I will put myself completely in that line. I
Hmm.
will not organize that because my brain thinks that's a valuable life purpose.
Hmm.
It will be spent in vain and nobody will be helped because of it.
Yeah.
So just the awareness about that helps more people because you could make art for somebody that changes the world, you know, right there from your couch. If you do that with that intention and if you bring that out into the world and teach these kids to work according to their aliveness instead of their mathematical sums, then you will create people that solve that problem. You know, in the 70s, they had a big problem because all these young kids were using LSD, which is not an addictive drug, but it expands your mind and it makes you at peace with the world and with all things. So people got connected. And the problem was they couldn't find enough soldiers to fight the Vietnam War because of it. So they started a war on drugs because it became a problem. People didn't want to fight anymore, these stupid ideas and stupid things.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, if nobody would go to the war, even if it's war.
Yeah, it would be a bunch of old people shooting drones at each other.
Mhm.
And now they think they have the solution. Now they have all these technicalities flying towards each other and
Yeah.
exploding. And yeah, okay,
Mm.
no.
Yeah.
So have fun there with the same meaning as we spoke to today. It's holy fun.
Holy fun. I like that.
Holy fun. New
Holy fun.
t-shirt material.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anna, please send me some dates for our next conversation.
Yeah. How many do we have left?
I need to
I was
check.
even thinking if that's the last one because of your
No, I
super
think we are
background. And
at 8 at this point.
okay. I don't know, honestly.